Oh, where am I? Oh, good, you're awake. Now we can have some fun. What? Let me out of here, you crazy pasty-faced bastard! I don't think so, little doctor. After all, you can't leave without watching my favorite movie. Your favorite movie? Yeah, you're a critic. I thought that you would want to see the movie that I always enjoyed as a little boy. Uh, okay, what's the movie? Why, it's one of the classics, and one I'm sure you've always wanted to see. Ah! Dr. Waluigi. Well, this is the big one, folks. This is what many people consider to be the beginning of the end when it comes to the Nightmare franchise. Hell, this is the movie that even the entire cast and crew agree that was a complete and utter shit show. Well, let's not waste any more time. This is A Nightmare on Elm was released a year after Dream Master and suffered the same problems as that movie. As the movie was being made during the late 80s Writers Guild of America strike, which meant that at the time this movie got the okay to be made, the script was only half done and the writers had to come up with the rest of the story as they were making the film. The movie returns with the character of Alice, who just graduated high school and is ready to continue with her life, until she starts dreaming about Freddy again, who is starting to come back, but Alice isn't sure how Freddy is killing people if she isn't the center of his dream powers like last time. Can she stop Freddy before it's too late? Will she discover the secret of Freddy's new power source? And who is this young boy that she keeps Lisa Wilcox and Danny Hassel return to play Alice and her boyfriend Dan, who are still really good in the role that they were given. Unfortunately, Dan was killed off in the first 10 minutes of the movie, which feels like a cop-out for how they built him up for the last movie. The other characters of this movie are Alice's friends, Greta Gibson, played by Erica Anderson, who is a young teen that is being forced into becoming a model by her controlling mother, Mark Gray, played by Joe Seeley, a giant comic book nerd and aspiring comic artist who has a slight case of hemophobia or fear of blood. The final character to know is Yvonne Miller, played by Kelly Jo Minter, who is studying and apprenticing as a nurse and basically is the person who has to be convinced about Freddy. They all do fine jobs with the script that was given at the time. In fact, I feel like this cast was done better than the last movie due to the smaller size of this cast. There are two other major characters in the movie, but we'll get to them in the other segments of the review. Get him. Want me to get him? Well, I got him. My mouth is an Uzi, and I shot him. The one reason to watch this movie is for the special effects from the kills. After the previous movie, where only two of the kills were unique and creative, and the rest were either just Freddy stabbing or drowning the other kids in their dreams. In this film, all of the kills are unique and different, my two favorites being Greta's and Mark's deaths, where Greta gets force-fed to death, and Mark getting killed by fighting a Superman version of Freddy. These kills are what I was looking for in the last movie. Unique and creative, personal kills that make sense as to how Freddy uses their nightmares and dreams against them. I just wish that the rest of the movie was as good. The bulk bulk of this movie's problems can be summed up into three simple things. Number one is how Freddy comes back. I'm going to be spoiling this movie's premise, so if you haven't seen this movie yet, then this is your spoiler warning. So in this movie, Freddy is able to come back by entering Alice's dream, in which he shows Alice how he was born, and then after he escapes his mother's womb, heads to the church where he died in the last movie, and grows back after touching his clothes. Do I even need to say anything at this point, other than this scene showing proof that the creators had limited time to make this? Freddy looks like crap, as he looks all disfigured, and it's only in the last scene where he looks like this. Which leads into the second problem that I have with this movie, the inclusion of Amanda Kruger and the other new character Jacob, played by Whit Hartford. In the third movie, Amanda only appeared to explain Freddy's origin, which was stupid, but expanded on how evil he was. Which also leads to Freddy having a direct weakness of anything related to Christianity, as his mother was a nun. But for some reason, they make it so that in order for Freddy to be defeated, his mother's spirit has to be released from her prison in the tower where she got impregnated. As for Jacob's inclusion, he is the unborn child of Alice and Dan, hence the title for this movie. And while he's not a bad actor, he doesn't feel like a character. He honestly feels like he was just thrown in at the last minute and only appears very little throughout the movie, and only acts as a plot device for the hero and villain. Ugh. Bottom line, this point that includes Amanda and Jacob is incredibly stupid and makes no sense at all. The final problem that I have with this movie is one that continues to bother me with every installment of the franchise. The whole of Yvonne's character after the death of Dan. So one of the problems that I can't stand with the majority of slasher films is when the supernatural, and that there has to be that one stupid character that doesn't believe them because it's impossible. I wouldn't mind this so much if this were maybe the second movie where the killings took place at one time. However, this is the fifth movie! Obviously, Alice is going to have some kind of proof about Freddy, and that the town would know about the killings. So cut the crap with these characters not believing their friends. Weird reverse effect on each other. While I liked the plot of the last movie, I felt it was missing the unique kills that made the franchise popular. In this movie's case, it had unique kills, but had a plot that made absolutely no sense. Which is sad because I feel like this movie is one of the better ones because of the great cast and special effects. The only thing that this movie needed was some massive rewrites, and it could have been one of the better Nightmare sequels. I give this movie a 6 out of 10. I would only recommend this movie to those who are fans of the franchise or horror fans who want to see what a movie with a poor story but everything else being perfect looks like. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Waluigi, and remember, don't judge a book by its